Welcome to Glacier, our 4-person camper van. This van is an all-wheel drive Ford Transit totaling just under 20 feet long and 10 feet high. All of our vans here at Discover Camper Vans are stocked with dishes and bedding for each guest, as well as portable camp chairs and a folding camp table. The dishes and the Induction cooktop are stored in a bin in the top cabinet, but feel free to unpack it to make the van feel more like home. This van has a 200 amp hour auxiliary battery that powers everything in the back of the van. The primary way to charge this battery is through the alternator while the vehicle is running. That means every time the engine is on, it is charging the auxiliary battery. This van has a bench seat that folds up and out of the way when you aren't using it. All the locks and levers are marked in red, making it easy to set up and take down. If you've added on the toilet option, you'll find that in this bottom drawer. This Lavio dry flush uses a disposable cartridge located in the top cabinet. There is a QR code sticker for instructions on how to install the cartridge and how to use the EcoGel. If you do not end up using the toilet and the cartridge is still shrink wrapped, you can return it for a partial refund. Above the sliding door, you will find our main controls. On the left, you will see the remote control for the ceiling fan. In the middle, you have the power inverter switch. This van has a 2,000 watt inverter for the power strip on the side of the kitchen cabinet. This is how you will power the Induction cooktop. Simply press this button to turn it on. On the right is the battery monitor. In the top left corner, the monitor will tell you how much power you are using or how much you are gaining. The bottom left corner tells you how much time it will take to either charge the battery to full or run it to empty, depending on your current power consumption. At the top, you will find the switch for the water pump, which you will need to turn on in order to use the sink. When you are ready to drain the gray water, stored in a tank under the van, this switch will open the valve. Since it's only gray water and not wastewater, you can drain this wherever, but we recommend dumping it in a well-drained parking lot to avoid getting dish soap on any vegetation. The back bench on the driver's side is used for storage. This is where you will find your extra bedding if you plan on using both beds, as well as the extra support piece for the lower bunk. In this bench, you will also find your camp chairs and water refill hose. The last thing in this bench is the diesel heater. When placing items in this bench, be careful not to crush the air duct hose. The van runs on gasoline, so the diesel for this heater is located just on the other side of this bench and can be filled directly from the fuel pump through the back doors. To turn on the heater, you can use the remote on the keychain or open the bench to access the main control panel. This heater is not controlled by temperature, so you will want to keep the remote close to you so you can turn it on and off as needed. If you are only using one bed on your trip, you do not need to take down the back table to drop down the bed. You will use the switch on the wall to lower the back part of the bed. Once that is lowered, you manually pull down on the front of the bed. Just reverse the process to raise the bed back up. If you are using the bottom bed, you will dismantle the table. Placing the legs to the side, the tabletop becomes the middle support, and there is an additional support piece in the bench on the driver's side. Then use the back cushions on the benches to fill in the remainder of the bed. Finally, cover with a sheet and bedding stored in the storage bench. Under the sink, you will find a small step ladder to help you get into the top bunk. When using this to get into bed, it's fine to use the countertop as an additional step, but do not use the vertical bed support rails as a handle. When you are done with the stepladder, apply pressure to the red square and lift up on the handle. If you need to refill the water during your trip, you will find the fill port on the passenger side of the van. The hose provided in the storage bench has a special connector. Simply twist this connector into place and then turn on the water. You will know when the tank is full when the water starts draining out underneath the van. Make sure to replace the hose and connector to the storage bench, as this connector is not sold in any local stores. Please take a minute to read through the welcome instructions located above the sliding door for further information. On the back, you will find the rental return requirements. We hope you will have an amazing trip in our Discover camper van.